So what's happening to a woman from the age she starts menstruating until she goes through menopause, outside of pregnancy and birth control and stuff like that, is she has this cycle, roughly every 28 days, but it can vary, where at the beginning of her period, we call that day zero, her estrogen and progesterone are very low. You can't measure them. And then what happens is the estrogen level starts to rise, and it rises in response to a hormone called follicle stimulating hormone, FSH, that is getting her ready to ovulate. And she ovulates at about the midpoint of her cycle. So if we're just going to make the math easy, on day 14, she's going to release a follicle from one of her ovaries. And the estrogen level is sort of rising, rising, rising. We love to measure hormones on day 5 because I want to have a standardized way in which I measure her hormones. So our women know, if we're in the business of trying to understand her hormones, the day her period starts, even if it's just a day of spotting, that becomes our benchmark. And then day 5, I want to see every hormone on that day. And if everything is going well, I know what her FSH, LH, estradiol, and progesterone should be on that day. So the estrogen rises, starts to come down a little bit as she ovulates, and then the luteinizing hormone kicks on because it's now going to prepare her uterus for the lining to accommodate a pregnancy. So now you start to see estradiol go back, but now for the first time, progesterone goes up. So progesterone has been doing nothing for 14 days, and now it starts to rise. And actually, progesterone is the hormone that's dominating the second half, which is called her luteal cycle. So the first 14 days is the follicular cycle, second is the luteal cycle. So once you get to about the halfway point of that, which is now, just to do the math, 21 days in, the body has figured out if she's pregnant or not. And again, most of the time she's not going to be pregnant. So the body says, oh, I don't need this lining that I've been preparing. I'm going to shed it. So now progesterone and estrogen start crashing, and the lining is what is being shed, and that is the menses. By the way, it's that last 7 days of that cycle that in a susceptible woman is what creates those PMS symptoms.